All right, Ren, it is time for...
This is Pimp My Portfolio. Pimp My Portfolio.
Oh, that's right. It is that time of the episode where we bring in an expert, we bring in a community member to get their portfolio pimped, and we're excited to have Mick join us today. Mick, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
And we have in the studio a new expert to help us through this Pimp My Portfolio today. It is none other than Adam Dawes. Dawesy, welcome.
It's great to be here, guys. Great to be here.
Yes, we're very excited for this. So, Ren, to kick things off, we've got... let's give the audience an idea of what's in Mick's portfolio.
Yeah, so, I mean, the headline on Mick's portfolio is a big weighting to Bitcoin. About 2/3 of the portfolio is Bitcoin. So... bullish there. And then then we've got a number of individual stock holdings, I think 8 in total. Audinate, Alligator Energy, Boss Energy, Duratech, Elevate Uranium, IPD Group, Laserbond, Silex Systems, and Telix Pharmaceuticals. So some names that we've spoken about on the show, some that we haven't. So... Dawsy, I guess, where do you want to start? Overall impressions.
Well, Mick, we'll call this the Boss portfolio.
Oh, wow.
Because it does have the Boss energy in there, so I think that's a good starting point. But Mick, what's your sort of philosophy around this portfolio, and how did it sort of come about?
Well, I have to kind of admit the Bitcoin holdings is probably even a little bit more, I guess, degenerate than that. It's Ethereum and a whole heap of altcoins. So I started investing in that. I might have got it a little bit backwards, I think. I started with crypto, and a friend of mine used to give me a fair bit of stick about the crypto side of things, and he got me into, I guess, more grown-up equities, and I really enjoyed that side of things. I started, I guess, with some of your bigger names. I had BHP in there and I had Rio, but I think I've gone down a bit more the growth side of things, and I guess maybe the crypto history that I've had has led me to maybe take a little bit more risk on board, I guess, and want to see the growth and the gains.
It's okay, Mick. You can say you love a specky.
Yeah, I do, and I do get sucked into the odd story stock. I know that, and I know that there's one in particular that might fit that bill. But yeah, I don't mind a little bit of risk reward, I guess. It's going okay at the moment, but I know things can turn around really, really quickly, and yeah, I guess that's part of the reason why I submitted the portfolio, is to just get some thoughts around what I've got and what's happened, and what I could possibly do with it in the future.
No, totally understandable. And obviously you're quite a uranium bull with all of the uranium stocks in there.
Yeah, I guess through social media, I heard a bit about a supply and demand shortfall, and it sort of seems a bit like a long range crypto cycle, just played out over many years, not shorter like a crypto one, but yeah, I just got into it that way and analysed some companies and thought I'd have a bit of a crack at them.
Yeah, so obviously there's the uranium side of things. I think you're doing okay, and Audinate's a fantastic business, so you definitely want to keep that in the portfolio. That audio and digital disruption business, I think, is fantastic. Certainly, some of those uranium stocks you've got to be a little bit careful of, because they are explorers. So you need to have an idea of how much, one, about where they're exploring, management, and then getting an understanding of the business as well. So that can be a little bit tough when you're in the small cap space. Certainly, Alligator Energy in that Boss Energy, look, it's probably one of those good ones out there for it. And Elevate Uranium, I hadn't heard too much about as well. I do like the IPG or the IPD Group. I think that's a fantastic business. Electronic cable management, as well as vehicle charging stations. I think that is something that you definitely want to keep in the portfolio. And Silex has had a bit of a checkered history, but still that technology is very, very good as well. So, if you were looking to sort of broaden the portfolio out, yes, you had some BHP and some Rio. There's nothing wrong with having some of the, can we call them boomer stocks?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to call them boomers. There's nothing wrong with having those kinds of stocks in the portfolio because you want companies that are generating revenue, making money, and paying dividends for the longer term. So those kinds of things. And the speculative side of it, you can have a portion of your portfolio in there. But since this is a segment about pimping up the portfolio or pimping the portfolio, getting it more, you would definitely look to add some financials into the business, into the portfolio, because it's very resource centric. Now our market's 62% resources, so it's very hard not to be playing in that resource space. I think uranium as a whole is a fantastic area because we are looking for energy transition, and uranium is probably the only one with the cleanest energy that can have baseload power 24/7. So I think you're in the right space, but you just got to be a little bit careful with some of those explorers in there. So I'd definitely look for some more sort of financials in the portfolio. And then I'd definitely look to just sort of broaden the portfolio out. Generally, we'd like to have some international stocks in the portfolio. The Australian market is only 2% of the global index. That means there's 98% of opportunities that are outside of Australia. So looking at some ETFs to broaden out that portfolio, staying in the tech space, the NASDAQ 100, the IVV, which is the S&P 500, those kinds of things to broaden out that international exposure. And that's what over the last 6 months you would have gotten an uplift of 30% in your portfolio if you had some international stocks in there. So you can't ignore having international flavour because Australians, we consistently have portfolios that are very much Australian centric, and we love that, but we need to have international exposure in there. And so using ETFs in the marketplace, you can actually then build out a fantastic portfolio going forward. So financials are always good. Now, banks, they seem boring, but they pay good. That's good money there, good dividends, and there's some interesting financial stocks like Macquarie Group. Fantastic. When markets are running hot, Macquarie will do very, very well. And the other side of it is I want you to get some more international exposure in the portfolio.
I love that.
Yeah. It's certainly been looking at some US, I guess, stocks, but I just found it way too hard to do what I've done with the ASX listed stuff because you can I know where to go to find some of the information and listen to different podcasts and different things like that, like Equity Mates. But I think the ETF for international would make it a lot easier for me.
Absolutely. You want a basket of goods, and then what you do is you look to the different subsects. So you've got Asia, you've got Europe, you've got America, and you can pick those kinds of things. And then if you want to go high growth, like the NVIDIAs of the world, the Microsofts of the world, take advantage of the AI. There's a couple, IOO, there's a NASDAQ 100 as well. They're all going to have those tech stocks in there, and there's still a lot of growth to be had in that AI space.
Okay, nice.
I love this, Dawsey. I think listening along, Mick, how I'd sum it up is the speckies that you've got are certainly interesting, and now the job to be done is to build a portfolio around the speckies.
Correct.
It's interesting companies, and I think some good advice there, Dawsey. So a big thank you for joining us, and Mick, a big thank you for sharing your portfolio and letting us have a chat about it. Hopefully some of this helped.
Yeah, no, of course. I think the first thing I'll be doing is just, exploring and doing my own research on some of the international ETFs. That really appeals to me. So I appreciate you having me on.
No worries, Mick. We'll have a great day, and all the best with it.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Well, if you'd like to submit your Pimp My Portfolio, head to equitymates.com/contact. Similarly, if you'd like to get in touch with Adam, head to equitymates.com/advice, and we'll be able to connect you, and you can get your portfolio pimped with Adam, plus much, much more investment advice. So, Adam, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Great to be here. Thanks.